Welcome back to the Play Pouch, everyone. We're slightly later this week than planned. I've had some issues to deal with, and yes, I am back on full form at the moment. So we're going to be doing a review of Cyberpunk 2077, and this is comes as a request from one of our subscribers. So we're going to be talking about that. Now, I understand that my colleague, Nick, who's here with me, has not
Hello.
played the game. He, if there are any other people in the viewing audience that hasn't played this game as well, consider Nick
Consider me you.
your avatar as such, and you can sort of ask questions through him or whatever. Or if you're watching us live, you can ask questions there. Yeah, go on.
Before we get started, it's like I haven't played it.
Yeah.
Funny thing is that I own the game. And I did keep up, especially with the initial launch and the problems, which I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit. I know nothing about the DLC, however, but I was paying attention when it came out because I remember you being so excited for like a good number of years, pretty much as soon as they announced it. You were all over it. And I know we'll talk about it, but I know that you were initially disappointed with it, but I think the DLC might have changed your mind a little bit. So,
all right. Well, yeah. If we're going to start there, then we might as well go right back to the beginning. So
back to the start.
When CD Projekt Red had finished with Witcher 3, they released a cinematic trailer for a game called Cyberpunk 2077, and it was just I was just like, no way. This was just like the answer to all my dreams.
Yeah.
I had always wanted to play a game like this in a dystopian future, and I was so excited, and I really couldn't wait, and I was just sort of checking practically every day for news and progress reports and stuff like that. Yeah. So what was it? 8 years later?
Oh, a long time.
It was a long time. They finally bring it out after some major hoo-ha with the PR department going all out, saying, "Oh, this is the best thing since sliced bread. Looks awesome on the PS4."
It'll be made when it's ready as well. And unfortunately, that came back to bite them a little bit.
Oh yeah, I mean, CD Projekt Red as a company, they were very proud, and we were proud of them, and we were so happy with Witcher, and when they said, "Oh, it's coming out when it's ready," blah 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 blah,
we believed them, and why wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly. So it comes out, and it's in a state. The only platform that it worked relatively well on was the PC.
High-end PCs, wasn't it, really?
Yeah. And I guess the Series X as well. I started playing this game on the Series X? Yeah. It's what I originally bought a Series X for, was this game.
You didn't start it on PC? I would have thought for sure you would have started playing it on PC first.
No, I started this on the Xbox just because I didn't want to have to worry about, any issues, because my graphics card wasn't brilliant at the time anyway. So yeah, it was all right. There weren't many bugs on my platform, and I know that PC was in a much better state. But for those people who were still on old generation consoles and stuff, it was just unplayable. They fixed it eventually, and not only did they do that, they provided continual free updates. They released a couple of DLCs, a couple or one, whatever, so they stuck to their guns. They did a Hello Games in terms of No Man's Sky, and they stuck to their guns, and I have to give them respect for that, because the state of the game as it is right now is absolutely fantastic. So my brother's still playing it to this day, and he's got a 2060 RTX graphics card, and it runs brilliantly on his system. So I've put this game to bed, and I still have some of the big DLC left to play.
Yeah.
Now, I don't really sort of know why. Perhaps it's something to do with the repetitiveness of it, or I don't know. But okay, so let's just talk about the main story for a bit. You play a character called V, and you can sort of customize the way he or she looks. And when you start the game, you are sort of a petty criminal, basically stealing cars for some fucking idiot. And you come across, well, I guess you come across another character, and his name is Jackie Wells, and he you become friends with him and partners in crime and all that kind of thing. And some shit hits the fan. You meet someone called the guy with the golden arm.
Not the guy with the golden gun, then, from James Bond.
No. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Not T-Bug. Fuck, I don't know. I've completely just gone blank. But anyway, you meet him, and he turns out to be a bit of a dick, and some shit hits the fan. A job goes wrong, and spoiler alert: Jackie, your best friend, dies, and you end up being implanted with a special chip. And this chip is sort of like beyond the cutting edge of what's available on the market right now. So we are sort of technical biohumans, where we sort of like modded chips and sort of things into our bodies, and like bionic arms and stuff like that.
So, like, is it a bit like Deus Ex, which I have played?
Yes, very much like Deus Ex. So, yeah. So basically, it just becomes a way of getting this chip out of your head without it killing you. And there's a sort of like a consciousness that's built onto the chip called Johnny Silverhand, and he's played by Keanu Reeves.
Boo! That was always my reaction, Pete. You remember, as soon as he came on stage, I was like, "What?"
Yeah, I know. Well, we'll come back to him a bit later, but
Quickly, Pete, I mean to interrupt, but I will say hello to Carl Simpson in the chat.
Oh yeah. Might as well do all that.
His first comment, it should tell you where his mind's at. No one does a sex scene like Cyberpunk.
True, I guess.
Are they better than Mass Effect ones then?
Yeah.
Yeah. The better than Witch 3 had good scenes. Better than Witch 3.
No, well, yeah, but see, with CD Projekt Red, they don't mind showing some boobies.
Oh yeah.
And they show those boobies. They don't care about it. You can switch it off if that's, you're playing with a family or something like that. You don't really want this massive rack in your face.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so that's the kind of story, really, and it's at the moment it's such a polished, final sort of beefy chunkster of a game, and it's really, really good, and you can get so involved with it. The city itself is really nice. It's not as explorable as I hoped it would be, but it's still very sprawling and complex looking. And
I do have a question, Pete. You've mentioned it just in speaking, or we've talked about it just in speaking, to do with open worlds. So are you saying that the is it called Neon City? Am I wrong? Something like that. The city you're playing, is it not to the levels of GTA or anything like that then?
Well, it's not as refined and polished as GTA or Rockstar, but it's Night City, by the way. It's not called.
Okay, right.
Yeah, but no, it's not as refined as Rockstar, but it is pretty good. Okay. You can ride in sort of you can ride the train now, which was huge.
Was that not there at the start? Then they added that.
No, yeah, they added that in later, which is fine, I guess. But there, I have a couple of issues with it. I mean, they are sort of like a couple of nitpicks and not major things, I guess. But you can become so overpowered by sort of halfway through the story, because if you do everything, literally everything, and you spec in the right areas, then yeah, you just, you become so powerful and you have all like kinds of unique weapons and stuff that it all becomes trivial. And so I guess it's at that point where you can sort of ramp up the difficulty to sort of give yourself a bit more of a challenge. But yeah, it's all kind of slightly repetitive. It's very Ubisoft in that way, where you go to a certain area, take out a bunch of people, and then sort of complete the mission. So it is very much like that. But
is there a different? Is there different play styles though? Like can you be like a stealth character or just a tank just running there, and can you be melee character or is it all guns?
Yeah. You can sort of choose how to approach these missions. You can do everything from a distance with all your mind tech weapons, like sabotaging things and whatever.
And they're all viable then. They all are,
Yeah.
That's good. That's good that they've you can have different builds at least.
Yeah. So yeah, there is that. But you will get sort of overpowered. So I would recommend that you start it on a sort of a fairly hard difficulty, or it's even just start it on normal and then progress to hard. So,
yeah.
So it's not afraid to go to sort of dark places, but the issue is that just after this game was released, there was a report on the development cycle of this game, and there was a lot of issues. Apparently they cut out a heck of a lot of stuff, and it annoyed me because there was something that they took out something to do with religion. So there's some monk people in the game, and you just feel like there should be more stuff with them, but there isn't. And the reason why is because they took all of that shit out, and it was going to be like a whole side quest mission storyline with these monks. And
do you think were they scared then of what pissing off people real life from
life? So they're like, as time went on during development, the social constructs shifted.
That's my reaction, dude. It's a video game. It's sci-fi.
I know, but they were careful to try not to piss off any specific group, and make everything sort of slightly, ambiguous or neutral. And
it's a video game in a sci-fi world, mate. I'll never get it.
I know. It's all of this shit will blow over, mate. It's just like, well, people will go back to the way they were. It's not going to stay like this, but yeah. So this game, it's good, but there's so much potential for more, and it's such a shame because obviously this is the first type of game that CD Projekt Red has produced.
Yeah.
Doing like a sort of a fantasy, sort of like RPG in a forest and all that kind of thing is a damn sight different to doing like a fully articulated, bustling metropolis, and have that sort of filled with people and stuff like that. It's a lot more difficult, technically as well as visually.
Oh, so definitely. Yeah, definitely.
So I must take my hats off to them. It's just a shame that Rockstar couldn't help them out, or like other companies like Ubisoft that know what they're doing with open world maps and sort of like, give us 5% of your sales and we'll tell you all the shit that you need to know when it comes to open world games. I don't know.
I do remember you saying to me, and I don't know if this is something maybe that they've fixed or that the DLC maybe overrides, but I remember you saying to me that you won't overblind with the default game story. It was too quick or something. You said to me. I remember having a conversation with you a while ago. It got there too quick or something. It got to the or was it something like you didn't realize the ending was coming so fast. You thought there'd be a lot more game. I remember you talking to me about it.
Yeah, I thought I was halfway through.
Yeah.
And I went towards a gate or a door or something, and it came up with that sort of point of no return message. And I was annoyed. I just switched the game off, I think. So it's like, wow, really? And I think it took, oh God, and this is like a rough ballpark here. So I think it took like maybe between 10 and 15 hours to do the main story. And it wasn't that long. So
did they fix that? Have they added anything to it, or is it just the DLC doesn't make the game? I mean, obviously, it gives you a different area to go to. I'm assuming, but did it make the game longer than the main story or anything? Or is that still the same?
It branches off into sort of like a certain story, yeah, and it's quite lengthy. They've integrated it really well with the original story in game, and I think Johnny Silverhand appears in certain areas during the DLC as well, as I understand it. You've got a relatively famous guy called Idris Elba, who plays this black detective guy. Well, he's black, so
yeah.
I mean, like he does it really well. He brings his there was a TV show that he did as a detective called Luther, which is quite good actually. And so I think he sort of emulated that across to the game, and it's sort of like a futuristic version of probably Luther, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, I've done the first few missions of that DLC, and I stopped playing it. I think because maybe there was something else that came out, or maybe there was a project that I needed to focus on. It wouldn't have been necessarily about the game, although in my experience, I get bored really quickly with games. Right, I find games.
That is something that is true, Pete. You do.
It's true. I get bored of games really quickly, and I find them monotonous a lot more quickly as well. So it's like it's not like that. If I say like something's repetitive and monotonous, you really have to take that statement and add a lot more time for yourself to get bored. You know what I mean? And I mean a lot more time. So I'm very cutthroat with games. That I if it's not gripping me within like the first half an hour or hour, then yeah, see ya. But this is really immersive, this game. There's a lot going on, and the whole tech behind the screens to get all of this running is really a marvel. And I think it does actually give Rockstar and their GTA franchise a run for their money. And there's going to be a Cyberpunk 2, we're told.
Are they actually going to make another one, are they?
Yeah, from what we all understand.
Well, I suppose they put so much time and resources into making the engine and everything and the assets for this, then I suppose the sequel won't be as taxing on them, will it?
Well, they've ditched the engine, haven't they? They've ditched their engine, the red engine, whatever it is. And they've gone with the Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine 5, baby.
Yeah, that's Pete's favourite engine, so that's even more brownie points for them.
Oh, mate. And they've not only done that, but they're in the process of fusing the good parts of their red engine into Unreal Engine. And I dare say they're going to be utilizing the gift of NVIDIA in their software packages to make the Unreal Engine 5 even better. And so, yeah, I think they're in a really, really good place at the moment. And I can't wait for their next titles to come out, specifically Witcher 4.
Oh, yeah.
That's for another cast. So all in all, this game is gloomy. It's beautiful. It's dystopian. and you really get lost in it. And now is the best time to buy this game. You get the base game and the DLC in all its completeness with all the updates for, relatively cheap, 30-40 quid or bucks. And you'll enjoy it. If you like this world, you'll absolutely love it.
I've got a couple of questions quickly, Pete.
Mm-hmm.
Number one is the game worth buying without the DLC? Like, if I just wanted to pick up the base game, is it one of those games where the DLC really enhances the overall game? Does the DLC bring mechanics and stuff to the main game as well that you don't get in?
It does. It does bring stuff. If I'm going to be brutally honest, I can't remember everything that it does actually give, but it's like there's new weapons, there's a new area to explore, which is quite sprawling and expansive. But no, you can just buy the base game and just play it as it is, the vanilla version. It is still very immersive, and the graphics are polished. And if you've got a nice, expensive PC rig, you'll get so much beauty out of it. Especially with the ultra-wide monitor. If you've got an ultra-wide monitor and you're playing this game. Oh, mate. Yes, with headphones on and that sort of 3D surround sound. Yes. Oh, it's very good.
Right.
So, yeah, I can't really sort of, as I said, there's a couple of nitpicks about it, which is just like the combat can get slightly repetitive. Remember what I said, people. And
I'm just watching the video now when it's got vehicle combat on it.
Yeah,
like that. So these are all new things for CD Projekt Red.
well, this is all that's this section that we're seeing right now was all scripted.
Yeah.
There's only one way that could happen, but I think that they actually introduced those types of battles in the game at random as well. I think. Don't quote me on this, people.
Random events, you mean?
Yeah. So, they've really overhauled the cop system because it was a joke.
That was bad at the start, wasn't it? That's right.
They were spawning behind you, and if
in
you
the toilet and everything.
Yeah, if you just come out of the loo, it'd be like, hang on, fucking loos were empty. So yeah, but it the music's brilliant as well. Can't fault it. Okay, let's go on to Johnny Silverhand. So, during the development cycle, there was a different person playing Johnny Silverhand, and he, for all intents and purposes, according to all the devs, he was great. They loved him. He was the perfect fit. But I think someone or some suits higher up wanted to sort of try and inject some celebrity status into it, and so they got hold of Keanu Reeves and sort of asked him to do it, to which he sort of said yes, whatever. So they got him in, and I think a lot of devs were a bit annoyed by it, because the previous actor was better, according to them. So if everything had gone the way it was supposed to go, you wouldn't have Keanu Reeves in this game.
I understand why. I understand why they added him, obviously, to because that would really help them push through the to the casual fan, wouldn't it? Oh, look, Keanu Reeves is in a game, and that's going to boost sales massively.
Yeah.
But my issue always was, and I said it to you when we saw it, was that it actually, for me, it takes me out of the fantasy world when I see actors doing it. It does. That's always been my gripe. But no. Well, I haven't played it. I did buy it, and then after I bought it at full price, like the idiot I was. To be honest, it's one of the last times I ever did this where I actually did have faith in a publisher, and I pre-ordered it. I don't do this anymore. And unfortunately with CD Projekt Red, they were one of the last kind of like bastions of like, oh, okay, we can trust these guys. And unfortunately, even they ended up screwing the pooch when it comes to releasing a game without it being ready. So I don't pre-order anymore. But I bought the game, And even though I've heard not just from you but from other people that it's in a much better shape, I still haven't played it. And I can't really give you a reason why. It's almost like I'm still angry at them and I don't want to. It's weird. I might get around to playing it. I probably would like it. I like RPGs, so.
Yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from. It has damaged me quite a lot. And I'm just disappointed that there's not more, because it's like, oh, I would love more, like GTA levels of
Yeah.
content, you know. So yeah, but like visually, it's just, you know, just a stunner, man. You just can't fault it.
No, it's beautiful looking.
Yeah. So of course, if you've got this on the PC,
Yeah.
You can mod it, and so, people obviously have been doing such. And I just want to show you the state of what it is in right now. So this is something that's called let's see, it's real life graphics reshade. So there's a few mods going into this, and it just looks real. It's absolutely mental how real this looks. So it's in 4K, and it's path tracing, which is the ultimate end of ray tracing. So every shadow, every light, every sort of indirect lighting calculation is utterly perfect, and that's why it looks so real. And of course, the textures that we have, upgraded textures, probably by AI. Let's skip along to something that's a bit more interesting. So yeah, really impressive stuff. And you can have this, you can get this if your rig is powerful enough. And this is the power of modding, and it just makes the game a lot more immersive. So free modding for the win, and it just makes this game look so much better. And with the fact that the game is in the state that it's in, yeah, you're in for a nice ride. It's just a shame there's not more.
Let me ever so quickly talk about the consoles. You said you played it initially on the console. Do you know the state of the console versions? We all know, of course, it can't hit the might of the PC. We know that. Is it running at 60 and stuff on the Xbox X and the PlayStation 5? I'm assuming that maybe there's a performance mode, like we get in a lot of games, quality mode, performance mode.
I'm just going to...
I know the graphics will take a hit, but that's what I'd rather if I had to give it a go myself.
Okay, so they released a 60 frames per second patch for the consoles.
Very nice.
And this article here is testing that on the Series S, which is the...
Oh, that's the lesser one, that one, the S.
Yeah, the Series X is gimpy brother.
Yeah.
So it says that so it goes to 60, but it can't always
can't handle it all the time.
Yeah, basically. So that's on the Series S. So I dare say that the Series X
should be hitting that
solid 60. Obviously, you're going to take a graphics
hit. Yeah, I know.
Don't expect what you're seeing on the screen right now to be what you get.
No, of course not. I know.
Hang on.
But I think games should always have, and more games are having it. So even though me and Pete do do rag on the industry a lot, and rightfully so, because so many of their practices are dodgy.
Yeah.
At least most games or more games are having this choice, which is what everyone should have. If you want the best graphics, but you don't mind taking a hit on the frames, then that's all good. But at least just give us a choice. So I'm glad that they have released a patch that gives players a choice. So
Yeah.
I probably will give it a go. I do have a bunch of games kind of like to get to list, but this is probably on there. I already own it. Don't own the DLC, so I'm probably someone who will probably try it without the DLC first and just play the normal game most likely, unless I can get the DLC on the cheap, which you probably can soon.
You probably can now, or if you just sort of wait until Christmas time, it'll go down to a bargain bucket deal.
No, so, I probably will, because I am such a fan of the Witcher games. So I do know that they are a quality studio. Overall,
yeah.
Even though, as we have discussed in the Witcher games, they did have the books when it comes to the great writing. So let me ask you quickly then, without spoilers, because I haven't played the ending. The quality of the writing, I'm not expecting it to be as good as a Witcher, so I don't think you're going to tell me that. But what would you say on the quality of the writing for the game?
It's good.
It's good.
Yeah, no, it's good. I can't fault the dialogue itself. It's really, 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 really good, actually. Maybe some of the cast members delivering those lines, it isn't perfect. I would have absolutely loved to see this alternate version of Johnny Silverhand
with the other actor in,
with the other actor, just to see how it would have been, and I dare say it would have been a different experience altogether. But the Thomas Marchequa. Sorry if I'm completely brutalizing your surname, but he's the lead writer. Right. And then you've got Jacob Shamalek again. Apologies. So yeah, no, there's like four. I think there's four total writers and like a couple of story concept workers and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot of people that went into developing this story. It's just, I think they focused on that a bit too much, and I was hoping for a lot of side quests.
Is there not enough then, in your opinion?
Not really. There's some stuff, but there's no sort of dedicated side stories. There's like, you meet up with people and you do like various missions for them. So there's that, like, you've got race missions, then you've got assassination missions and stuff like that. There's no real sort of like dedicated side story until the DLC came out, which is nice.
And they changed it, and then they put more side quests in the DLC, did they?
That in itself is a side quest, but it does sort of have ramifications on the main storyline as well, and stuff like that. I haven't played enough of the DLC to be able to sort of comment on, whether they've had side quests to all that. So, but yeah, like, it's really good. They've really turned it around and stuff. So yeah, this is the DLC area that we're looking at now. So yeah, all in all, I have to give it, on release
2 scores on release.
On release, it was. Let's see. Do I give it an average or do I give it below average?
Yeah, I think you've got to give it on your experiences. Like Carlin in chat said, apparently he played it on the Xbox and he had no glitches, but other people, as we've seen in videos, had an absolutely torrid time. So if your experience was a positive one, Pete, and you didn't get glitches, that's all you can really do. But
that's a big thing.
Yeah.
But most of these glitches that you see have obviously come from the PS4, like the worst platform. Do you know what I mean? So it's like potato graphics, basically.
Some of the I have seen videos of some of the funniest stuff. You can look for them, just look up. Most of them probably aren't there anymore, but there was some comedy gold when it first came out. Make no mistake.
Yeah. But it's certainly in a playable state right now. It's very highly polished. There's a couple of bugs that they're still trying to iron out.
Yeah.
I don't know whether
perfection, dude. Nobody expects perfection. It was just.
Well,
I'll give them credit in the same way I've given Undead Labs and State of Decay, and the same way I've given Hello Games, is that they have tried their best to fix it.
Yeah. Well, every time they fix one bug, another bug appears. So it's like they're really trying hard, bless them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, as you can see, it's just it's a damn fine title. I just want more is the final thing. So I'm going to give the initial release a 5 out of 10.
That seems
all right.
Fair. Yeah.
I think that's fair. It's average.
Yeah.
And if you were lucky to have a decent platform to play it on, you had next to no bugs or maybe like a couple of things, but that didn't matter. Now I would give it an 8/9, 8.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Because it loses points for it not being there being more content, and the fact that they cut loads of stuff out and they sort of chickened out on a few things. And yeah, I just I wanted more, so it doesn't get full top marks for me. So
right. There's no point me giving it a score. There isn't. I've not even played it. I've seen some stuff, but so it wouldn't be fair to give a fair score on it, to be honest. But certainly, guys, if you haven't played it, I think now is the time to play it with the DLC, especially if you can get the DLC, or you can get them as a bundle. I know there's bundles, isn't there? So you can buy them together if you can see a good price, or maybe wait to Black Friday in a couple of months. Definitely, it looks like now's the time to pick it up. Yeah,
on Black Friday, it's very likely to sort of get 50% off at least. So it's probably going to end up being 20 quid. So hold out for that if you want to get it. Anyway, that's it, really.
Right.
That's Cyberpunk. Just this excellent, sprawling, sort of highly detailed and rich world to explore. You just want more. And yeah, on that final note, let's sort of end the session there. If you like our shows, you know what to do. Subscribe, like, slap the notification bell, all that good stuff. Yes, we have a Patreon, and if you choose to support us, that will enable us to speak on YouTube a little bit more freely, allow us to say words like bellend, cock, shit, fuck, cunt, knob, cheese, and
cheese.
Well, yeah.
You can't say cheese now.
No, well, the Blue Vady style cheese, which like dicks tend to like. So, yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you. We'll see you on the next episode. Until then, take care.